Okay, so this is an 80,000 phone, and you know what? This gets a shiny, transparent design. Sorry, it's
liquid glass.
Useful AI features like call screening and all. You know the company. But what if I tell you this phone has better software, iOS 26 level features, heck, it even has an AI assistant that is smarter than Apple Intelligence. And no one is talking about it. And let me make it more tempting. You get a unique design, 144Hz display and a massive 6000 mAh battery, all of that at 12,999 with offers. Now you might be thinking, Pratik, you must be joking. This sounds just too good to be true. Like there has to be some catch. Like someone please throw the ball. Yeah. So we'll tell you everything. Pratik, TechWiser, squeaky ball, let's freaking go. But first things first, let's start with the unboxing. So inside the box you get the phone. Of course. Some paperwork, a 45-watt charger, a Type-C cable, unique looking SIM ejector tool and a clear case. Now this is Tecno POVA 7 and Tecno POVA 7 Pro. Now we'll be mostly talking about the POVA 7 because I feel that's the more budget and interesting offering, but there are genuine upgrades in the POVA 7 Pro as well, like unlike some other brands who just call their phones Pro, Pro Plus, Pro Max, God knows what. But we'll leave the timestamp for the POVA 7 Pro so it's easy for you guys to navigate. Now onto the phone. See, I found the software of this phone to be the most interesting. Like they have implemented features from the new iOS 26 in budget. But before we get to that, there are three interesting things about the phone. Like first of all, the design. This looks like really futuristic, and when you hold the phone in hand, the Tecno POVA 7 is no way a compact phone. Like it has an aspect ratio of 20.5:9, so holding it with one hand is easier, but when you want to use the phone or reach the edges, you need to use both the hands. It's also pretty thick at 8.8 mm and weighs over 207 grams. So yeah, it's tall, thick and still easy to handle with one hand. Now, if you look closely at the back of the phone, the camera island is triangular and it has this triangular pattern all over the back. Now, Tecno likes to call it Delta interface with lights, which kind of reminds me of Power Rangers SPD from back in the day. In case you're wondering, the Green Ranger was my favorite. What was yours? Now, the lights here have multiple functions, like they flash different patterns when you adjust the volume and they light up differently for calls, notifications or ringtone, but there's more. When you put the phone on charge, you get a charging animation on the home screen and the lights at the back mirror the same pattern, which looks super cool. You even get a widget on the home screen that lets you manually turn the lights on, cycle them through different patterns. And yes, when you're using both phones in public, it's very noticeable. Like people around you would turn and have a look at the phone to figure out which company is this. Now, of course, the back is made up of polycarbonate, which is what you get at this price. And interestingly, you get a side-mounted fingerprint scanner because the display. It comes with 6.78-inch Full HD Plus IPS LCD panel. It comes with 144Hz refresh rate. Now, normally the display runs at 120Hz. If you want, you can push certain apps to 144Hz. Like as of now, these are the only apps that support 144Hz refresh rate. Surprisingly, there's WhatsApp. So in case you want to scroll those lovey-dovey chats at 144Hz, you can do that. And speaking of the display quality, it's quite good. Like I was watching the new season of Squid Games and the overall colors look really good. Now obviously this isn't an AMOLED display, so the black here looks kind of grayish, but again, for the price, I'm not really complaining. Apart from that, it has a max brightness of 900 nits, which is decent enough for outdoor usage. In fact, I was traveling to Horsecast the other day, don't ask why, and I was constantly checking for metro routes during the afternoon and the display was fairly visible at that time. And the third interesting thing is the performance. The POVA 7 packs the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Ultimate with 8GB RAM and up to 256GB storage. And generally we see this processor on phones costing around 15 to 17,000 rupees. Now on Antutu it scores around 6,50,000, and for casual tasks it does pretty well. Like if you scroll through reels or web pages or use it outdoor for navigation, it handles it pretty good. Now in terms of gaming, it can play BGMI at 60 FPS and the gameplay was pretty smooth. Performance was stable and the phone didn't overheat even after 30 minutes of gameplay, so you can do casual gaming. Now, coming to the software, this is where you can see Tecno shows the highest improvement. Like I've used Tecno Fold long back and from there to now, the software is miles better. Like when you're setting up the phone, it actually asks you to choose between the standard icon style and this new Vision Art icon style. Now it runs iOS 15 based on Android 15. And it's literally high. See, most phones around 15,000 are loaded with ads, bloatware and annoyances like lock screen spam. But shockingly, this phone had none of that. Even the lock screen magazine was disabled by default, so no bloatware, no third-party apps. It's just clean and it's also smart. See, phones at this price usually skip on AI features or just throw in some basic stuff like AI summarization or circle to search. But this has some good AI features that literally Apple released in iOS 26. Like there's AI auto answer, where the AI can literally pick up the call for you, take in all the information, and then you can listen to it later in call recording or just continue the call. And the good thing is, right off the bat, it supports Hindi language. Also, there's Ella, the built-in AI assistant. So suppose if you have a PDF of your engineering textbook, just upload it and you can ask questions directly like, can you explain the design flow of an ASIC? And boom, it gives you a summary right from the document. You can also just use the camera and it will automatically detect the question from the paper and will give you a step-by-step solution for it. Plus there's call summary, an AI wallpaper generator, AI-powered note sketching, and a bunch more features baked in. Moreover, the UI feels very modern. In fact, I would rate this software experience very high when it comes to budget phones. Now, coming to the cameras, the POVA 7 has a 50 megapixel main camera and the photos look decent in good lighting conditions, but if you zoom in, there isn't much detail. And the same is the case with the portraits, like the background blur and all is pretty good, but again, if you zoom in, there is a bit of over sharpening. Now, in indoor lighting, it performs decent. On the front, you get 13 megapixel selfie camera and the selfies are good with good colors and details. See, usually in 13,000, you don't get really good camera phones, and even this here is decent. Now, before we get to the Tecno POVA 7 Pro, the base Tecno POVA 7 packs in a 6000 mAh battery, and in my usage of scrolling through reels, playing games, watching web series, and playing music continuously for hours during workouts, this easily lasted me over a day. Now, it supports 45-watt fast charging and it takes around 1.5 hours to charge it to 100%. Now, speaking of other features, you get a hybrid SIM card slot, dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.4, and NFC for contactless payments. Like NFC at 13,000 budget phone. Kudos to Tecno for that. Now, there's one interesting thing that happened with me. See, as per Tecno, this has an intelligent signal hub that gives you better signal reception even in low network areas. So right at the ground floor in our office near the lift, this area has really bad network. So we tested this POVA 7 side by side with iPhone 16, and as you can see, POVA 7 is giving good network speeds, while the iPhone 16 doesn't even run the speed test. And we tried this multiple times. The signal reception on this budget phone is quite good. Now, before we move to the conclusion, let's talk about the Tecno POVA 7 Pro. Now, of course, it has a very different back and this looks way cooler. Plus, the middle portion of the back has this indent and can do this. Now, it has a slightly wider build compared to the POVA 7, but keeping that aside, the POVA 7 Pro genuinely has 3 major upgrades. Like number 1, the Pro variant comes with a 1.5K 144Hz AMOLED display. If you watch a lot of movies and content, the AMOLED display upgrade makes more sense. It has the same Dimensity 7300 Ultimate processor. The second upgrade you will find is the camera. You get an upgraded 64 megapixel IMX 682 main camera sensor plus an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, which also acts as a macro lens. So here are some samples, and as you can see, it takes good pictures, which even has details if you zoom in. Now, it gets the same 6000 mAh battery, but the third upgrade is you get a 30-watt wireless charging support. That's great for a phone that costs 16,999. And also, there's reverse wireless charging, so you can charge TWS or other smartphones. Rest, it has an IP64 rating. Now, the Tecno POVA 7 Pro starts at 16,999 for the base 8/128GB variant, and the 8/256GB variant costs 17,999. And after using these budget phones, here's what I've understood. See, most of the brands like Xiaomi, Realme and Motorola, which once used to provide more value for money smartphones under 20,000, has now shifted towards 25 to 30,000 or higher premium pricing. This now leaves a gap in the smartphone market, especially in that 13 to 17,000 segment. And this is where brands like Infinix and Tecno are focusing on providing value for money smartphones at that price point. And if you're looking to buy smartphones around 13 to 20,000, basically budget segment, you can choose these newer brands. Here's also a pair of shorts that we made for good phones under 20,000. You can check that out. On that note, this is signing off. See you in the next video. And it reacts to pew pew, I guess. Pew pew, pew pew pew.